are you today? Welcome, welcome. We have an exciting guest today. This is Katherine Rose, Kat, creator, owner, and photographer of Cruising with Kat Adventures, which is a Vermont-based business offering side-by-side and fly fishing excursions. After emergency heart surgery, Kat realized life was too short to not appreciate the relaxing benefits of communing with nature. With years of personal experience camping, fishing, and riding with her husband, she now offers the same life-renewing experience to those who have fast-paced lives. For a day excursion, a weekend, maybe even more if you're interested. Her mission statement is empowering busy, overworked individuals to take time for themselves, promoting relaxation and enjoyment so they can return to business refreshed with clarity and renewed focus. And I'm sure some of you out there, you're thinking, I'm that person that is busy and overworked. So Kat, welcome. We are so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about your organization and the clientele that you tend to work with.
Everybody.
We could all use it, right?
People. Yes. Busy people. I was just speaking with someone not too long ago. They were working 75, 80 hours a week. And I'm like, I can't even fathom that, And they're just like, I don't have time for myself. And they're just going 100 miles an hour. And I just put my hand on their shoulder. And I'm like, take a deep breath, And I said, you got to come with me. And I just told them what I did. And they're like, oh, that sounds so amazing. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's what I want to offer to you, to everybody. Is just take a little bit of time. It's not even a huge vacation. So you don't think you have to go for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So don't pack your computer.
For sure, don't.
No.
Or your phone.
Right. Just come and explore and have fun and be out in nature and breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe.
So what are the changes that you see in people from when they show up to your door versus
Oh,
when
wow.
they're ready to leave?
A lot of people don't want to leave. It's almost like a 360. It's like, how do you leave this place? And it's like, I don't. This is where I live.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the country. I like to visit the city, but I don't know if I could ever live in the city. Too much hustle and bustle for me. But for those that do, I commend you. But take time for yourself. Maxime Legacy says, by discovering nature, you discover yourself. And I truly believe that. And statistics show that it's not only good for your physical health, it's good for your mental health as well.
For sure. How did it happen for you? Because you clearly had a life-changing experience that pushed you into things are going to be different. I'm going to be a different person because of this.
Yeah, well, I have been camping and riding. We just started riding wheelers. I was never one to ride a quad because a quad does not have seat belts and roll cages. So that's why I ride it side by side with my husband. So we've only started since my first grandchild was born. Now that sounds pretty old for, someone to start riding four-wheelers. Us getting out into the nature and us meeting people on the trails. And I wanted to bring that to everybody. Meeting people when I was in the hospital, I went in with a great mind, open mind, and meeting people in there that didn't have the open mind. And I don't have time for this kind of thing. I've got work to do, and they're bringing, they're on their phones already right after surgery. And I'm just looking at them like, you've got to take time, at least in the hospital, to heal. Even the doctors and nurses are wonderful, but they work. And it's like, take time off and go outside and breathe, breathe the fresh air, and it just came to me, I guess, that I want to spread this as much joy, as much happiness. I want to share it with the world.
And do you
I don't know how else to put it.
do you feel that it was for you that healing process, as far as being able to go through that realization and spend more time in nature, for you was fortifying, as far as like it helped to heal them and that sort of thing? And the reason I'm asking is because so many people, they go and have these experiences. They go and spend a day, spend a weekend, whatever it may be, and they leave. They're not the same person that showed up. They're a different person. And they're a person that is more comfortable with themselves and more comfortable with everything else. And oftentimes we have to take people away from the patterns of their own lives in order for them to have those realizations and to be able to create space to heal.
Right.
So, and
Just
I
being around
see
a
that firsthand.
campfire.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just being around a campfire at night, just sitting there vegging, watching the flames and, the open sky above you, watching the stars. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
healing,
It is.
you know?
Absolutely. Being able to be in touch with those things makes such a huge difference. And you think about people who many of us spend the majority of our lives now indoors, sometimes in buildings that we don't have access to even natural light from windows and things like that for long periods of time. It's really tough. It can wreak havoc on their nervous systems and everything else. And then we wonder why they're so, why we get so rushed, why we feel stressed, why we are overwhelmed and those sorts of things. But, it makes sense as to why, because our bodies and our minds are screaming for space and connection and everything. So, do you have a favorite time of year that you are able to, do your excursions?
Well, summer's always the best, but I do like early fall. I like when the leaves are starting to change and, sometimes the leaves are fluttering to the ground and the smell of autumn in the air. And
There's
it's
nothing.
just so
That's my favorite time.
a little bit cooler air and yeah.
You can just feel the energy that something's to come,
Yes, it's changing.
I love that part of it. What is your typical demographic? Like, do you have a typical population or an ideal client?
More city folk, suburban folk that don't usually get to get out into nature, that don't have a lot of nature surrounding them, tend to come up this way.
Do you spend a tremendous amount of time now outdoors compared to where you were at a number of years ago, or do you feel like it's pretty much the same?
I guess I've kind of always been more or less an outdoor person. I've tried to get my children outdoors, our children. Our son is huge into outdoors, fisherman, hunter, trapper. I mean, anything that has to do with outdoors, hiking, he's outdoors all the time. Our daughter is outdoors quite often. She likes to hike, and they're getting their children into it as well,
Great.
which is awesome.
Green
They're all
exercise.
yeah, they go out swimming and boating and fishing and it's just kind of cool to watch it keep going. And that's how I was raised. We're always out fishing and swimming and hiking and doing different things outdoors. So I guess it comes kind of natural to me.
I think it does with people when they grow up in that way, because I grew up and we always camped growing up. That was like our thing. We camped. And I camped a little bit with my sons when they were pretty little, and my boys are grown. And now my girls, we've just started camping with them the last couple of years, and they love it. Like, it is the thing that they would rather do over anything else. And we've done so many other activities. And we went and we were camping this past Sunday. I'm going to show you a picture. And they happened to have a hayride, like an old school hayride at night and everything else. And the neatest thing about this hayride is that all the kids lined up to ride their bikes behind the hayride. Can you see a picture of all the kids? Like,
oh my gosh, a little parade.
Yeah. I was like,
that's so cool.
I thought that would have happened in 2024, that there would be all these kids riding their bikes behind. They weren't e-bikes, and they weren't, there was a couple golf carts for sure, but they weren't e-bikes or electric scooters or anything like that. They were old school riding their bikes behind the hayride.
That is so cool.
I was like, this is the neatest part of this trip.
Definitely. That is cool.
We got back and my daughter said, I gotta get on my bike. I'm going with the group out for the next hayride. I'm gonna follow them. So we were like, all right, we'll see you when you get back.
Isn't that the best?
It was really neat. Yeah. It's really neat when you can see people appreciate those just simple, basic things
Yeah,
that many times that we found appreciation in when we were children, or that our families found appreciation in, and everything. It really kind of brings you back to the basic parts of
that's
what's important, and sense of community and
nice. A
connectedness to
simple life,
yep,
as
connectedness to
we used
each
to talk
other
about.
and the
Right.
world at large and everything else. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's really neat. So, Kat, do you do multiple groups at a time, or what is your like number of people that you can usually support in an activity?
I like to do the smaller groups like a family. That way I can focus on them
Mhm.
and they don't feel overwhelmed or, I've been on group rides or on tours where we get in as many as we can. I've
Yeah,
been on tours where there's like 20, 30 buggies. It's okay, it's fun, but it's like you're not really paid attention to.
yeah,
And I like to have it's kind of high quality.
yeah.
It's kind of, you get your lodging, you get a catered meal on the trail, you get photography. It's all captured, so you don't have to worry about it.
Mhm. So you leave
Um,
one at home,
right,
technology free day or weekend.
right, exactly. And you get a guide, of course.
So
But
if you're looking for Kat, here's how you find her. You can find her at facebook.com/cruisin.w.cat, K-A-T, / and we will put all the links below of all her other social media pieces and everything so that you can connect with her and find out about your next trip. Kat, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I just want to thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you
And
for
I hope to see everybody, and just take a little time out of your day. Just go outside and breathe the fresh air and listen to the birds.
take some time for you. We could all use
Yep,
more self-care. Truly.
definitely.
Thank you again.
Definitely.